Jake?
Jake?
Hey guys, I'm Jake.
And I'm Jake.
And we're here filming our first video on this new channel that we started. And we're super big petrol heads. We like car stuff. We like working on cars, driving cars. We like camping and everything in between. This is the first YouTube video that we are making to kick off this channel. And what really made us want to start making videos is we just wanted to share what we're doing with our cars and the adventures that we go on. We've got two sports cars right now that we're slowly building out, two WRXs. There's Jake's back there, and I've got a white one. And yeah, we like taking them around on road trips. We just wanted to film some of the cool sights that we get to see here in Northwest Arkansas and in the surrounding area as we're traveling.
Yeah, you know, Jacob's Garage is kind of one of those things where it's a DIY. We try and do everything in-house, whether that's cleaning tips or building stuff from complete scratch. I mean, that's what we're here for. We try and stay relatively as budget as possible. Neither one of us are going to have brand new overland vehicles or anything, but I would say Jake is probably the more sports car head, if you will, and I'm definitely more into the overland scene. But definitely, obviously, I have a WRX as well, so I enjoy the sports cars just as much. But we've started building out a Sequoia, Toyota Sequoia. It's been a super interesting build, to say the very least. Picked one up in Kansas City, brought it home, and was super excited, so I ordered a whole bunch of parts for it. Pretty much a complete suspension swap kit, lower control arms, upper control arms, a lift kit from Ironman 4x4 America. Awesome company. I've worked with them in 3 or 4 of my different builds. There was the Nissan Pathfinder, awesome build, and then I had a Nissan Xterra that we built out as well. Great company. Went with the Coastal Off-Road front and rear bumpers. They're a weld together kit, sticking to that DIY atmosphere here at Jacob's Garage. We're going to custom make a roof rack. We'll make sure to document all that, and you guys can follow along if you want. We'll be doing all of the custom off-road lighting, all of the wiring and all of that. We're going to be doing that ourselves. We'll be covering comms, so GMRS, and then I'm sure we'll dabble some in the ham side of things. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a super fun build. We're excited to have you guys along for it. And
there's a pretty big twist that we had in the middle of this build that really changed our whole trajectory.
Lest we forget.
So keep watching to see what that is all about. Welcome to Jacob's Garage. This is what we do. Yeah. All right, here's the Sequoia. Just popped the front wheels off because we're starting on the front. Gonna be lifting it up first, and then we're gonna move on to the rear. But there's quite a bit of work to do here because there's lots of rusty hardware to get pulled off. Sand down a lot of the rust with a wire brush wheel or a grinder and kind of dress it up just so it lasts longer. Lots to do.
It may not be a bad idea to take the grinder and at least do the surface and spray it.
Out with the old and in with the new. This is a kit from Ironman Off-Road 4x4. We've had good luck with them. We put that on Jake's old Xterra, and it was pretty kick butt. We've got rear springs, lower control arms, upper control arms from Freedom Off-Road. These are looking pretty spiffy.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Sliced my finger.
Are you good?
No, I'm okay with this, but
We've got the rear control arms for the solid rear axle. All this new stuff is going on. Trying to get all the old components off, and we're running into a few issues that's making it take a little bit longer. Everything is super rusty, so all the nuts are just taking a little bit more work to get loose. We're having to use a lot of torque and use a breaker bar to get a lot off. Fair warning, I'm gonna show you this damage on the frame. It's something that we're gonna fix, but it looks pretty gnarly. Take a look. So as you can tell, there's a massive hole in the frame. What we are planning on doing to fix this is cut some sections of 3/16 inch steel plate and run it about from here to here and do a fat bead around that plate on this side, on the bottom side, and on the other side. And before we do that, we're gonna take away as much corroded frame material as we can and get that cleaned up. But it sure does look pretty gnarly. That shouldn't be that much of an issue though. Anything is fixable if you're willing to take the time and spend the money on it, and we're gonna get it repaired.
Are you sure about that?
All right, we're making mad progress. Still getting old stuff off. Having to grind away a lot. That's stuck on nuts. They just gotta be grinded off. But we got the old shocks out. Looks like Jake got the upper control arm out. I just took my side off. Got my shock off, my upper control arm. Oh, careful there. Here's a quick look at the old components. You can see just how bad some of the rust damage was on these. Upper control arm has no coating on it anymore, and it's just super flaky. Same with the shock. It's just rusted to heck.
Yeah, the more I'm looking at it, I'm thinking these spindles are going to be savable. We're just going to have to clean them up.
Jake is a genius. He just came up with a great idea to get these hub nuts off. And that is to just stick a screwdriver in the rotor slots and put them up against the brake caliper like so. Super quick and easy solution to holding the rotor still while we bust these nuts loose.
You got your spindle on?
I did get the spindle off. We could put a wrench on there and then use our feet and push as hard as we can.
Yeah.
It was around this point in the video that we started to feel really discouraged at how fast the build was going. And then Jake crawled underneath the truck and took a further look at the hole in the frame, and he found something terrifying. There was a lot more of the frame material that had completely rusted away underneath an undercoating that had been sprayed on at some point, so we couldn't even see it. So we talked about it for a long time, and we were trying to decide what we were going to do with this truck, and Jake was like, I don't feel safe putting my family in here. So we decided to scrap that first Sequoia, and we ended up going with another option that you can see there, because we already had a lot of the parts and we didn't want to have to send everything back and return it and then buy a whole range of other parts. So we got another Sequoia.
Yeah. After lots of research and many, many hours of depression and anxiety, long story short, we learned that you cannot repair rust that bad and get it to be structurally sound. Because my wife and kids are going to be in the car, and this guy and who knows how many other people, I didn't want to risk it. So safety's super important to us.
Here's a picture of the rust damage that we found. As you can see, it looks awful. keep in mind, this is not what it looked like whenever Jake brought the truck home. It was only until he used a hammer and broke through the old paint that we were able to see how bad the damage was.
This frame on this truck right here was replaced in 2014 by Toyota. So this frame is brand new.
Now we're going to show you what we did with the suspension on this truck, which is what we originally planned for the first Sequoia, but we ended up doing to this truck. We've got another one! We are here after a big disappointment, finding a massive hole in the frame of the last Sequoia. Jake's probably more disappointed than I am since it's his truck. But
it's a big ouch.
Yeah, it was not a good situation, but I think this is probably the best route to move forward. He's been switching over a lot of the parts, including a lot of the interior components. You just finished the AC compressor, which was out on this guy. By the way, simplest engine bay you'll ever see. This is wild. Good job, Toyota. We're currently in your place of work in an aircraft hangar, and we're going to be switching over a lot of the suspension components and lifting this guy today. And then the next time you see it, after all that's done, it's going to have some 33-inch tires on it with some nice KMC wheels. But we're going to get our hands dirty here and film the process, and we'll see how it goes. All right, we just got the old shocks out. Got out with the old and in with the new. These are the same ones that we were gonna throw in the last Sequoia. This is the, I think it's like the lowest tier from Ironman Off-Road, but we've had really good luck with this. We put these on a second gen Nissan Xterra and they kind of rock. And we got some good lift numbers out of it on Xterra, so we're kind of excited to see how these do on a much heavier vehicle. Right away, our work is going a lot faster than the other Sequoia, just because of everything not being completely rusted back into soil.
Sparking, man.
I saw that. He's a little less afraid to hit his truck than I am, I think. So this bolt down here, or this nut rather, I'm trying to get that guy off, because it's holding in the tie rod ball joint, and we need to get that off before we can replace these lower ball joints, which are right underneath here, right here. But we don't have the correct removal tool like we were using earlier with the last Sequoia when we were disassembling that. So we're basically just trying to hit on this as hard as we can to get this spindle, this bolt, to slide out of here. But she's not wanting to come out. When we do get that off, we will be installing these lovely I think this is Freedom Off-Road. Jake, are these Freedom?
Those are Toyota OEM.
Oh, okay.
Way to go for ball joints for Toyotas.
OEM ball joints. That's what's going in. She's gone. Well, it's free. But Jake just pointed out, we also have to get the lower ball joint out, which is going to be a lot more difficult considering that the hub is in the way. So, yeah, I'm sweating a lot into these gloves and it's starting to pour out. So that's a little bit gross, but working on cars is not a clean job, but it's worth it. It's super fun. It's what we enjoy doing. No pain, no gain. Okay, so we're here trying to get the lower ball joint loose, and we're thinking we're gonna use a big wrench to try to wedge in between the control arm and the ball joint and kind of use it as a wedge. But we ended up just kind of lifting it up and out of the lower control arm, so we kind of felt like dweebs trying to muscle them off, only to find out that they were just loosely sitting on there. But I'll show you. We thought it was going to be so hard to separate those.
Overthinking.
I was just dripping some sweat on you there. Alright, this bolt originally went in the back here that way, but we're going to slide it in from the front. That way it's easier to take out in the future. We don't think there's going to be any issues from doing that. There we go. Need to get my leg involved.
Let me double check mine. We got that set up.
What did we forget to do?
We always, every single time we lift a truck, forget to take measurements whenever we lift it for a before and after effect.
Yeah, I don't think we've done it once. That looks nice. I like the green springs on the white truck.
And the white against the white, that does look nice. When we get some better suspension, so I can't remember the company, but there's a company that makes a gusset for this piece here because this is a super. This piece breaks whenever you off-road. I mean, that right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty thin. So, Jake and I, Jake's going to take some scans. He doesn't even know this yet. Jake's going to take some scans of this, and we're going to mock up our very own iteration of that so that we don't have to spend $250 on it. And we're going to make it because I've got the materials at home, and we're going to weld it on there.
Do some DIY fabrication.
Absolutely.
Let's go! Moving on to the back. I got a couple more bolts to tighten up here, and then the front's done. Just dropped the front end back down, and it's looking really good. May or may not have dropped it without putting the lower ball joint nut back on, and it toppled on my side a little bit, but I was kind of able to stop the jack before it went too far and messed up anything. So we got everything back together, and I checked everything on my side and it all looks good. But we had a little bit of a heart attack moment when we lowered it and that side dropped down. But here she is, and check out this wheel gap over here. These tires are probably 31s. I don't know, I haven't looked at the tire size because these wheels and tires are going ASAP, and the KMC wheels are going on with some 33-inch. Hey Jake, what tires did you end up getting?
I went with the Thunderer All-Terrains.
Oh, it's the Thunder All-Terrains. Yeah, I remember that.
We've run Thunder and Mud Terrains on pretty much all of our off-road rigs. And
Cheap
excellent
tires, man.
Excellent tires.
Cheap but great. We haven't had an issue with them.
I'd say the only thing that we both complained a little bit about was they wear just a little bit faster than your, you know, Goodyear or
Yeah.
BF Goodrich or whatnot. But for the
They're
price,
soft,
what are
though.
they, like $180 a piece
Yeah,
for
200
33-inch
bucks
tires?
for
Yeah,
30
they're
inch.
great. And then I went with the all-terrains because I love the brand, and I ran them on my Mitsubishi Montero for 3 or 4 months before it got totaled.
They're really soft compounds, so they grip up real well in the dirt, but they do wear pretty quickly. You actually saw them; they were on the other Sequoia. Oh, and by the way, Jake came up with a name for his new truck. Does you want to tell him?
Yeah, its new name is Ghost.
Ghost. Okay, we're working away at the back side of the truck now. We've taken off the old struts, took off the old sway bar. We noticed that the brass bushings for the new rear shocks are missing. We don't know where they've gone. So Jake right now just got the old bushing out of the old shock, and we're going to try to, you know, see if it's the same diameter, and we'll work with the new shock. So let me show you that, what he's got. It's just the old bushing. Yeah, if this doesn't end up doing the trick, I think we might have to pack up for the night and just put the old struts back in. Holy smokes. What happened to her? Well, it's not like that was going to be reused anyway, but Jake ended up having to cut the eyelet with a rotary tool to get the bushing out. Alright, Jake's over there getting the new springs in, and he's making quick work of it. And I am trying to press out one of the other eyelet bushings, and instead of cutting it like Jake did his, I'm going to try to press it out with the hydraulic press. See if this works. Alright, so this is going to be the cup that I use to hold the outside of the eyelet against, and then I'm going to just press on the middle of it. These hydraulic presses are great for stuff like this. I think I got it.
The only thing with pressing it is I was afraid that it was going to tear it.
Yeah, I'll stop if it starts looking like that, but we're not really worried about damaging this eyelet. Bro, let's go!
Yeah.
So throwing some grease on the bushing. Oh, go back up just a little bit. Let me recenter. We're off just a little bit. Okay. It'll straighten up. There we go.
That's bottomed out.
Come up. It should, yep. It just kind of goes into place.
Nice.
Boom. So that's some old hardware there, but I mean, it still looks like it's in really good shape. It's got a nice clean surface on the inside, and so that will just slide on the lower shock mount, and then we'll put some hardware up at the top, some rubber pucks, and get this installed in the Sequoia. And then, you know, Jake's almost done getting the spring on the passenger side, and then she's gonna be lifted on all 4 suspension points.
A couple days after the lift kit
With the completed
mostly
stage.
completed first stage. Yeah, I've got the wheels and tires on it and the Ironman 4x4 lift kit. It's tall. That's the first thing I would say. It is very, very tall. I'm 6 foot and I have to jump to get into it, and it's only on 33s.
Every build that we've done in the past has been compact SUVs, much smaller trucks, and this lift kit in particular, I think it's rated for what you said, 2.5 inches. We forgot to take before and after measurements, but it seems like it's more than 2.5 inches,
Easily.
maybe like 3.5. She sets really tall.
Now, it's definitely going to sag a little bit once we put the weighted front bumper, rear bumper, winch, you know, some different things like that. Spare tire on the rear bumper. So it's definitely going to come down. However, I mean, not that much. I'm really, really excited to get this thing on the trails and see what she can do.
Thanks for watching this first episode on our YouTube channel. It was super fun to build this, and we hope you guys enjoyed seeing what goes into, you know, doing a lift. Definitely keep an eye out for future videos. We're going to be posting the entire build series of this Sequoia and adventure videos with the WRXs, and I'm sure lots more.
More to come.